everybody. Welcome to the Bowfishing Buzz, presented by AMS Bowfishing and
Megamouth Bowfishing, as we've been sponsoring the last couple podcasts. Megamouth Bowfishing sponsoring as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Welcome back to another edition of the Bowfishing Buzz. Got a jam-packed show this week, Derek.
We do. It seems like this time of year, we went a while there without making one, and so now that the fishing's getting good, we're traveling, we're doing all kinds of stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, we have an hour to make a podcast and cover 5 hours of information.
We've got a very special guest that's going to be joining us, Derek.
Yep, absolutely.
Jana Waller from Skull Bound Chronicals. Huge outdoors enthusiast, loves everything there is to do about it. So we're going to have her on as a guest. She loves bow fishing also, by the way. And so I'm looking forward to talking to Jana. And why don't we dive right in it, Derek, and get right into the BAA, some of the records here, Derek.
Sure, absolutely. We just got a couple of them for the show here because we actually were on it this time, and we are not taking a month off between podcasts. So first one here, congrats to Bryce Seltzer on his BAA South Dakota and world record river carp sucker weighing 13.4 pounds.
That's a big
That's
a big river carp sucker.
Yeah. Yep.
This next one here is kind of funny.
It is.
Nathan Miller. We actually have a Nate Miller that works here at the shop.
We
so
do.
That's kind of funny.
I thought that was a joke when I first read that on there. You're trying to make me laugh while we were doing it.
But congrats to Nathan Miller on his BAA Michigan State record grass carp weighing 50.3 pounds.
Wow, that's awesome. Big old grassy. John LeHue, congrats. BAA Tennessee State record big mouth buff weighing 55.9 pounds. Congrats, John.
That's nice.
Yeah, so those are the records for this week. Now, Matt, you are actually leaving us at some point today, correct?
No, not. I'll be here till 4:30.
You will be. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But you are going to go pick up some people from the airport, Serena and Jason from Arizona. You just want to talk a little bit about why they are going to come up here. They're going to do some shooting with you.
It's actually pretty cool. These are the people that placed the highest bid during the BAA 12 Days of Christmas, where they were raising money for payouts for this year's Worlds. And Serena and Jason were the highest bidders. So I'll be leaving here, heading to the airport to pick them up for a couple days of bow fishing. I'm kind of nervous.
Are you?
I am. I'm nervous because I'm not a guide. I don't guide. And when I don't put people on fish, I feel bad.
Well, I think that's anybody who takes anybody out to do anything in outdoors. They want to show them a good time.
I could be a guide, though, because that would feel terrible if fishing was terrible.
Yeah, no pressure,
and
Matt. They're just
there.
coming up all the way from Arizona. So.
Yeah, no kidding. But we're going to get into them.
From what you've been saying and what people stopping in the shop have been saying, you could have a heck of a couple of days of fishing.
I actually asked Serena, I messaged her and says, what was your biggest fish that you ever shot so far? And I think she said like right around 20 pounds.
Ooh.
And I said, oh, yeah, I think you're going to beat that. And I think Jason is like 40 pounds, and I think we might also beat that. So really looking forward to hooking up with Serena and Jason. Actually, Serena is the secretary for the BAA.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yep, and Jason is also a part of the BAA and also with the Arizona Bowfishing Association. He runs a lot of the tournaments that are put together down there. So looking forward to getting them out.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Side note, Matt.
What's that?
I wasn't allowed to do this because, trust me, I looked into it. But what would you have done if I would have been the highest bidder and then you would have taken me out for a day of bow fishing? Because I'm not going to lie, a day of bow fishing with the legend Matthew Schillinger, that is priceless right there, my friends.
No.
Priceless.
I would have taken you to the Big O Plain.
Oh.
For those that don't know what a Big O Plain is, like 10 miles from here, and there's like carp in there, but they're
dinks.
6 pounds.
Yeah. Yep. And it's dirty and it's not. Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
All right. I just had to check in on that.
Speaking of legend, I got to give a big congrats out to Tommy Woods, Scott Hunter, Hunter Woods, Kyle Snellgrove, or Scott Baxter, I'm sorry, Kyle Snellgrove for winning this year's Bass Pro Shops U.S. Open with a weight of 458 pounds. Once again, Tommy Woods is the man to beat.
Yeah, he's
him and his team, Team TKO, top notch. I love competing against those guys. I'm glad. Sorry that I missed not getting down there with those guys, but hopefully I'll see them at the BAA Worlds this year in South Dakota. But congrats to those guys. Once again, they notched another big one in their full list of resumes of big events that they can. They're still on the top of their A game.
Yeah, I know we were talking about last time, Matt, when we were talking about tournaments, our tournament, whatever. And just the people that you know when you see them come back from weigh-in, that you're kind of like, okay, let's go see what these guys pull for a weight. That is a prime example right there. Yep. Everyone's paying attention when Tommy Woods rolls in to see what they're doing. So yeah, absolutely. Very cool. So we're gonna give Jana a call here.
Yes.
Let's just give a little bit more background on Jana, just so that our listeners are a little bit more familiar with her.
Yep.
As a lifelong hunter and conservationist, Jana is a Wisconsin native, actually, who currently resides in the Bitterroot Valley of Montana. She was the co-producer and host of Skull Bound TV, which aired on the Sportsman channel for 9 years. And I know just from watching shows and stuff, 9 years, that's a long time to have a TV show air. Yeah. That's you're putting out a quality product if that's the case. Skullbound TV was awarded the Outdoor Sportsman Group's Golden Moose Award for Best Conservation Show in 2019. She currently produces and hosts Skullbound Chronicles on Carbon TV and was voted fan favorite best host in 2020. She's also a freelance outdoor writer and holds a bachelor's degree in public relations from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. I didn't know that either.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Wow, yeah, that is neat.
Yep. Along with that, Jana is also a lifetime member of the Mule Deer Foundation, National Wild Turkey Federation, and the Safari Club International, and an annual member of the NRA, Sportsmen for Fish and Wildlife, and the Sportsmen's Alliance. In 2015, Jana was also awarded the prestigious Communicator of the Year Award by the National Wild Turkey Federation and the Distinguished Alumni Award in 2016 from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater for her work in promoting outdoors and conservation. She serves as a primary member of the Federal Hunting and Shooting Sports Conservation Council.
Along with being an ardent conservationist, Jana is dedicated to supporting veteran organizations. She is committed to bringing struggling veterans back into the woods and mountains. Skullbound Chronicles features many of their stories of courage and strength. I know I've seen a couple of those episodes, and they're just awesome to see what they're taking these guys out and doing, guys and gals out to do out in the woods. It's really
I've
cool.
seen some of her things that she does. She'll take like double amputees out on elk hunts and get them out into the woods. We were on a trip, and we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk to Jana. But some of the stuff that she does is simply amazing. And let's give Jana a call.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt.
How you doing, Jana? This is the Bowfishing Buzz.
Hi. I'm happy to talk with you.
That's awesome. I'm here with my good buddy Derek Schmidt also. So we're glad to get you on here. We know how much you love the outdoors and pretty much everything that it has to offer for us. And you're a huge part in the outdoor industry. So thanks for coming on here with us.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I don't care what it is in the outdoors, hunting, fishing, bow fishing, hiking, you name it. I'm more outside more in the course of a year than inside. So I'm excited to talk with you guys.
That's awesome, Jana. Well, we got a couple questions that we're going to get going into here, Jana. First, I kind of would like to know, who introduced you to the outdoors and just being out there.
Yeah, definitely my dad.
That's
I grew
cool.
up in Wisconsin, home of AMS, and we, it's funny, I was born, we always joke in my family that my dad wanted a boy really bad. He already had one daughter. I was the second daughter, and he wanted a boy so bad he turned me into one. That's always been the joke in our family. And really, I think he just noticed in me this love of the outdoors way more than my sister. I was always outside catching frogs and in the woods, and so when I was old enough, he let me sit in the duck blinds with him. He took me along on his pheasant hunts and just really introduced me to the outdoors and shadowing him on hunts. And then when I was 12, he signed me up for hunter safety, and I was the only girl in the class back in those days.
Oh, no kidding.
There weren't, 1983 to be exact. You can do the math. And, but it was the greatest gift he ever gave me, really, because it's been my passion ever since then, and it's definitely the thing that bonds my father and I together.
Wow, so. That's really cool. That's really awesome.
That's awesome. Jana, we were just telling our listeners about Skullbound TV and how you guys are on Carbon TV now. How did that whole thing all get started?
Well, I was on, Skull Bound TV was on the Sportsman's Channel for 9 years, and TV's just simply changing. I mean, our technology, the way people want to get their adventure TV, whether it's fishing, bow fishing, hunting, people have gravitated off basic network TVs onto digital. People want their shows when they want to watch it, whether it's on break at work, maybe their spouse is watching something else, so they're on their phones all the time. People are just, wanting their TV differently. So a couple of years ago, while I was still on the network, I was kind of toying with the idea of going all digital. I put some stuff on YouTube, I put some stuff on Carbon TV, and I was just sort of experimenting. And the one thing I found out was that YouTube can be kind of discretionary, especially for someone like me who's a huge predator hunter.
Yep.
I do a lot of bear hunting, mountain lion, coyote, and I was always getting the little, warning label on the front of my videos. Whereas Carbon TV is owned by hunters. They're never gonna block out predator hunting, guns, kind of thing. So
that's cool.
I went both to Carbon TV and Sportsman's for a year, and then I made the jump last year and went strictly digital. So now all my new content is on Skull Bound Chronicles on Carbon TV.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So if somebody is not familiar with Carbon TV, Jana, how would you go about getting that so you can watch some of your shows?
It's super easy, and it's free for everybody. It's never going to be one of those platforms that you have to pay for it at all. You can either watch it on your phone through the Carbon TV app for both Android and iPhone. You can watch it on your big screen on the TV if you've got Roku or Fire Stick, or you can also simply just cast it if you have an iPhone and a smart TV from your phone directly to the big screen. So now it's digital. You can watch it on carbontv.com on your laptops as well, but you can watch it through the app, through online.com, or on your big TV through Roku or Fire Stick or AirPlay.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Very
because
accessible.
I've got a Roku, and as soon as we got back from our trip here, Jana, I went and searched for Carbon TV and downloaded it, and now I've got all your shows on there as well.
Yeah, you can put it right in your main menu on Roku.
Yes.
Next to your Netflix and your Amazon.
Yep.
So, yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
worked out really well. It's an exciting place to be. What I love about it is that if someone is new to your show, they can go in and watch all your old episodes versus when you were on big network. When they aired, they might pick up 3 months later, but then they're off. And so this is a great way that it's free for everybody. And some episodes are 5-6 minutes long, some are in the 20 minutes, and it's worked out really well. It's a lot of fun sharing that.
That's cool. And like you said, I think the biggest thing is I can go and sit down and watch it whenever I want. I don't have to wait for that 8 o'clock once a week or 7 o'clock once a week. I can watch it tonight. I can watch it tomorrow. I can pause it. I can do whatever I want. And that's cool.
Yeah, you can send it to your friends, especially if you're hunting with people like we did with AMS. You can pass it around the crew with the AMS crew. You can if you hunted with an outfitter or a friend, you can send the link to them and they can show everybody. It's really fun. It's easy to share, and I think it's just sort of the wave of the future.
That's cool. That's cool, Jana. Well, enough of the hunting and all that stuff. We need to talk about bow fishing here, Jana.
Yes, we do.
And I want to know, so your father kind of introduced you to the outdoors. Did he also kind of get you involved in the bow fishing part of things, or somebody different?
No, he didn't. In fact, I don't think my dad has ever bow fished.
Okay.
And that's a shame. We need to get him out there.
Yes, we do.
I was actually living in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, and a girlfriend of mine, she is a big bow hunter herself, and she's friends with Cindy and Jeff Braun.
Okay.
So she said, Alyssa Holcomb, she said, hey, do you want to go bow fishing with me sometime? And I said, well, sure, but I don't have the setup. And she goes, oh, they'll have everything on the boat. It's super easy. You don't need to convert your archery bow. Let's just go. And I did, and I had so much fun. We happened to hit the timing perfect on Castle Rock Lake. And the funny thing is, my dad had a cabin only about a half hour away from Castle Rock. Right. So it was such a win-win. And that day was the introduction to my absolute passion for bow fishing, and I have not missed, except last year. Last year with COVID was just a crazy year. My whole schedule got thrown off. Is the only year in, I want to say 15, 17 years ago It's the only year I haven't bowfished.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's definitely, once you try it, you are totally hooked.
That's why the bowfishing bug bites and holds you.
Yep.
If I recall from that trip, Jana, you guys had just an awesome day on the water with some really nice big buffs. And I remember watching some of that footage when Jeff came back with that. I remember watching some of that, and you guys were just having a blast on the boat.
It was so much fun. I think we filled up 3 big barrels of carp that day. We had so much fun. And the funny thing is, it could be a little intimidating for someone who's never bowfished before. And until you actually get out on the water and try it, you realize there's nothing to be intimidated about. No. You can miss and miss and miss and miss, and just reel that arrow back up, stick it back on, and you're back ready to go. Unlike archery hunting. It's obviously it's with a bow, but it's so much different, and it's so much fun, and any age can do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to, kids, you can tune the bows down for the kids, and it's just so much, whether it's carp or alligators, I've done it all, and it's so much fun.
Yep, absolutely.
That's very cool. So, Jana, we all know that buff spawn can just be freaking awesome, but what is your overall favorite species to bowfish for?
Oh, that's tough because I love it all. I mean, just last week, I was in Utah for the first time I've ever bowfished Utah, and the carp were rolling, and that was so much fun. But if I had to pick only one, I think it would definitely be Alligator Gar.
I kind of was expecting that.
Yeah. It's just such a challenge. You got to hit it right timing-wise. The water's got to be good. It can't be windy out. There's a lot of factors that play into it. But when you sink your arrow into a big, huge alligator gar, there's nothing like it. I have been really blessed to get some beautiful gar. I've been out with Jeff and Cindy in Texas. I've also been down to Texas with our buddy Buck Medley. And, it's just alligator gar would be my number one.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Absolutely.
So, Jana, do you also bowfish in your home state, Montana, correct?
Yep, I do. Montana's got some great carp bowfishing. Most people who are into it know Canyon Ferry's fantastic. Holter Lake is fantastic, and there's nothing like being on the water in the springtime. It can be a little bit later than other spawns across the country, but when you are on the water and looking at snow-capped mountains all around you, beautiful. It's just the scenery is beautiful.
I bet.
It's a lot like Utah last week. I had never bowfished Utah Lake, and just to look at the spectacular mountains, snow-capped mountains, while you're on the water is just an added bonus.
Right. And that's kind of neat, Jana, how you say that, because people really don't think about that as far as bow fishing goes, the scenery and stuff like that. You think about that more when you're on an elk hunt or a mule deer hunt, but really there's a lot that you can look back, and even at nighttime when the full moon comes up and you're on the water and that moon is shining off the water and the cattails, there's also, so you also have that in bow fishing as well, to just take time and just look around and appreciate what's all around you when you're in the outdoors,
Amen. And everyone knows that Mother Nature is healing, but there's something about being on the water. There's something about water that is just, maybe it's just primitive in our souls, but being on the water, and with bow fishing, you can sit back and just relax for a bit, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the company on the boat. But then if you want to grab your bow again, get up on that bow, and it's just pure excitement. Right. And
Absolutely.
It's just like hunting, where you're the peak of adrenaline is so exciting. But at the same time, you put your bow down, sit on the boat, have some good, beverages and conversation with people, and it's a plethora of everything. But being on the water, I think it's just good for the soul.
It is, no doubt about that. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, Jana, getting veterans in the outdoors, that's obviously one of your main goals. Have you ever taken a vet on a bow fishing trip before?
I have actually, and with Matt.
Yep.
We took out, so every year it's my goal to get at least one combat veteran into the great outdoors, whether it's fishing, hunting, bow fishing. And one year we took Mike Krampitz with Wishes for Warriors and took him down to fish with our buddy there for the big heads with Dennis, and we had so much fun. And for Mike, I take a lot of amputees elk hunting, but for Mike, his was a different story. He had suffered from some post-traumatic stress. He had had some pretty intense moments overseas, and that stress can be really debilitating for people. And I've always said that Mother Nature is more healing than anything else.
Yep.
And I know for a fact those 3 or 4 days in Kentucky, Mike had such an amazing trip. I still talk to him all the time, and it was a nice pivotal kind of turnaround spot for him in his life. But man, and big head, that was the first time I'd ever bowfished for big heads. That was so much fun.
It was an unreal trip. And speaking of Mike on that trip, I remember when I first saw him, to like the first day on the water, to the second day on the water, and then to our last day on the water, you could see a change in his personality, Jana. You could see him just open right up and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the more comfortable he got with the bow in his hand, and
Absolutely.
with the people he was around, and it all depends on the combat veteran and what they're comfortable with and stuff. But I feel like bow fishing and fishing is so healing for people, and I really hope that I can do that again.
Right.
It'd be super fun to make it a goal every summer to get out with you guys, and let's take someone special out.
Absolutely. And something really cool on that trip that we also did as well, Jana, is Dennis flayed up some of them big heads, and we deep fried those, and they were aren't they good?
They're amazing, and big head is one of those fish that you have to flay them when you get them into the boat.
Right.
But people, when they sit around in the boat for a little bit, they can get a bit mushy and stuff. But people don't know. You take care of that fish right away, and they're beautiful, big white fillets that we deep fried that were just delicious. Same with alligator gar. Or short nose or spotted gar. People don't know that gar is delicious to eat.
Absolutely.
You just have to take care of it right away. You got to get those fillets off, but it's a wonderful table fare too.
Absolutely. And one thing that I kind of remember about that trip with Mike is we gave him a bow at the end of the last day there, and there was a couple tears that were shed during that moment there, and it was just a special time, on the water with Mike, and how appreciative he was of you bringing him on that trip, which was really cool. And it's something that anybody can do that, anybody can do stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was so appreciative of you guys too at AMS to give him a bow so that he could continue on and spend time bow fishing in his home state. That was such a special trip. That was so nice of you guys. That's definitely going to go down in my books as one of my favorite trips of all times.
No doubt. Because we cannot thank those that are out there fighting for the good old USA. We can't thank them enough. We just can't. And if you can give anything, give them a little bit of outdoors, a little bit of bow fishing, anything, that goes a long way with them.
Yeah, call them up, invite them. And, the beautiful thing about bow fishing is you don't really need to have any past experience.
Correct.
You don't even need to be an archer. You know, they're easy enough to use that you can get the hang of the first time you hit the water.
Yep, no doubt. It's easy. It's easy. Yep. Well, Jana, as I'm sitting here right now, I am getting text messages.
I figured that's what that was.
I'm getting text messages from our buddy, Buck Medley.
I was just going to say, that is Buck Medley. It is on in Texas right now, isn't it?
I know, it's crazy. But he's sending us these pictures of these giant smallmouth buffs and a big gator gar that he shot last night. You and I were just down by Buck, about a month ago here now, and it was a lot drier when we were down there. But boy, we sure had a good time, didn't we, Jana?
Oh my gosh, we did. It's crazy. It's kind of that never give up. It's really funny. I was just at my editor's house yesterday going through all of our footage. We are going to be putting out that episode. Actually, it's going to be 2 episodes, but that episode of you and I in Texas last month is going to come out right around the 13th of this month.
So really?
It's going to come out.
Cool.
Yep. It's going to be out super fast. Geez, that's a week already.
Yeah.
Just a week away. And we had so much fun going through all that footage, and it's never give up is definitely right. When we hit the big water, we just weren't seeing those big alligator gar roll all that much. We weren't really into him. I think our timing was just a little off. But boy, did we have luck when we hit that creek hole, didn't we?
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. But we didn't see big alligator gar on the lake, but man, we saw some giant gators.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting, isn't it? To be up on a platform in the water, and you're just creeping up to look at a gator, and whoosh, they go into the water right in front of you. And I think Buck said that one we saw was a good 12-footer. Didn't he say that?
Yeah, there was a couple 12s we saw, and that one he thought we might have been close to 13, but good gracious, there's some giant alligators down there. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. How fun would it be to go with our AMS bows back for gators?
I'll be applying.
Right? No, it's so fun in Texas because you've got so many different species of gar. You've got, you've got the tilapia that we got into in that one little slough. You just never know. You've got totally all the different types of carp. There's so much. It's just so much fun when there's so many different species to target.
Right. And this was also kind of like a little African safari to me. Right. I was able to go out and shoot a couple of hogs with thermal crossbow scopes and with the crossbows and do some stalks on them. You shot a awesome turkey out there, and we both got some javelinas. But so how it kind of went down for everybody that's out there listening is, so we were hunting alligator gar for 3 days, Jana. All right.
Yep.
They just nothing was really happening on the lakes. Okay. So we were going on this kind of a flooded riverbed. Okay. And it's quite a long little stretch there, and it was holding water. And we hunted on that bank for probably, in those 3 days, probably a good 10, 15 hours just standing on that bank.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting for that one chance.
Yep.
And
yeah, it's hunting for sure.
No doubt. I mean, we shot some awesome long nose on there. We shot some really cool. You shot a black short nose down there.
Yeah.
And then we got the mud carp where I got stuck in the mud.
I was going to say, you got a mud carp.
Literally, I could not get out of the. Jana had to come pull me out because I was like stuck in quicksand.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy. Then I had to reach down like 4 feet in my foothold to grab my croc out of there because I had Crocs on. I couldn't lose my croc.
No.
But that was funny. But the cool part was okay, so now it's Monday. The cameraman has left and gone back to his home. Buck had to run back up to San Antonio, back to his house to get back to work. So it's just you and I at the camp, and we have maybe 3 hours to spare before we have to head back to San Antonio to catch our flights. And I'm like, let's go give it a try, Jana. You're like, absolutely. So we go down to this dried up riverbed that's got, like I said, it's got water in it and stuff like that. It's probably like 5 feet deep. And we just sat there and waited. And he rolled once in front of you, I believe, didn't he? And you did get a shot at him, right? You got a shot at him.
Yeah, no, I never got a shot off.
Oh, you didn't get a shot off? Okay.
Sure. No, I got lots of shots off, let's just say. There was a lot of shooting, not much sticking. But I got but at the big one, that you can just tell by the sound of the splash.
Yes.
And sometimes you can catch that tail and see how big his tail is. But you could just we knew that there was something big in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a couple shots off at him. I think it was on day 2 that we went down there. But on that last morning when it was just you and I never got a shot off at him. But you sure did.
Well, it's so cool because, the water is like milk chocolate. You can't see nothing in the water.
You couldn't see an inch down.
No.
Wow.
So we're just waiting for this alligator gar to come up and take a couple breaths, because they have lungs and they got to come up and breathe. So we're just waiting for them to come up and breathe. And you can actually hear that, can't you, Jan? You can actually hear them, where they come up and suck that air.
Gulp.
Yeah. Yep. And so we're getting down to crunch time now. We got to get cleaned up. We got to get back to the airport, catch our flights. And once you know it, after sitting on that bank for 15 hours, he finally rolls in front of me and gives me a shot opportunity. And I hit it, okay? The first thing that went through my mind was, no cameraman.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So I instantly start grabbing for my phone to start recording this with my phone in my hand.
Oh my gosh.
And as I'm doing that, the gator gar is going out across the water. And he's there's like one brush pile in this, and he's going right around this brush pile. And then what ensued after that was just a chaotic craziness of you running around that river trying to get a backup shot. You would be on this side, then you'd be on my side, then you'd be back on their side, and you were running all around trying to get that gator gar. and it was crazy.
The funniest part you left of the story is I had to use the little girls' room, so I had to walk like 100 yards to go behind this little hill, and I hear this screaming when I come back, and I don't remember if it was like a woohoo or what it was, but you had stuck the big one, and so I'm running.
Yeah.
As fast as I can, I got my big snake boots on, I'm running, and I grab my bow, and a lot of people who maybe don't bow fish, the best thing you can do is to get a second arrow into a big fish.
Right.
Gotta get back up. I remember Jeff and Cindy telling me that, even with the big buffs.
Absolutely.
You gotta get a second arrow in them, get a back up in them. And you're right, it was a pretty big stretch of water, and so you could see that line go out. It got tangled around.
Yep.
Right in the middle was
right.
some kind of tree limb or something. You could just see the tips sticking out, and that was your biggest fear. But as our gar extravaganza turned into a cardio workout, running around that water.
Yes, it did. For you, it did.
I set my phone up too. I set my phone up, and in fact, I went through that footage yesterday and got some pretty cool stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I set my phone up on the shore as we're running around trying to get a second arrow in him, and then there was a couple of moments where I had it in my hand. So
cool.
I think we're going to be able to tell the story pretty well between the two cell phones.
That's awesome. But you were on the total opposite bank when he finally came up and was kind of tired out and pooped out a little bit, where you actually got your backup shot into him. You made a great shot.
Thank you.
But I honestly, I didn't think it was that big of a gator gar until we were bringing it to the bank. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I had no idea. None of us got a really good look at them. Some different scenarios with alligator gar, sometimes you can actually, if you're on a river system or lake and they're down low, you can see them. You can see them sitting. They almost look like a big log if the water is clear.
Yep.
A lot of other times, too, they'll just come up so super fast. Even in clear water, you don't even know what it was. You just shoot the swirl. You see the swirl. And, I think we were both, pretty shocked when that boy came out of the water.
So now we still got to get back to San Antonio Airport. And now we got this tank of a alligator. I had a lot of people ask me, well, what did it weigh? How long was it? We didn't have time do much of that stuff.
No time. No, and in fact, we never want to have anything go to waste. So our biggest concern over weight and hanging it, getting super great pictures was the fact that we needed to fillet this thing.
Right.
Because we needed to get the meat off.
Absolutely.
We weren't going to let that go to waste.
Yep. And I have never flayed out. I watched it done, but I've never done it myself. But thank God that Buck still had his snips up there so we could, cut down through those bones. And the meat on those gator gar are just as white as snow. I mean, they're just beautiful, big loins,
And they're not fishy at all.
No.
It's just a beautiful, big white fillet, kind of like a cod, if you will.
Right.
There's no fishiness taste. There's no fishy odor. They're just delicious.
Yep. So it was kind of fun for me to be able to do that to one that I had shot and to see the big chunks of fillets that came out of there. And it's like, my goodness, this is awesome, This is great. Yeah. It's no different than somebody going on an elk hunt and taking the back strips out of that elk,
Exactly.
Except we're doing it to a gator gar, and we're still going to consume that and eat it. So.
Yep. Exactly. And I've only ever seen it done a few times myself, and I wish so much that it can be kind of a pain in the butt to bring that meat home. But I wish I could. All my neighbors always ask me, "Did you bring some home?" Next time I got to do that. But it was kind of fun to be able to give that meat to some of the locals who were really appreciative of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I got a question for you guys. Just hearing you guys tell the story, how much time elapsed from the second that Matt took the first shot to when you guys got it up on shore? I mean, how long of a timeline are we looking at there?
An hour?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. About an hour, 45 minutes an hour, Jana?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I would say so. And I'm really glad that we took the time to get some great photos of it. You know, and that took a long time as well. It's not easy when you're covered in slime and mud and, you're all excited and your heart rate's going crazy. But we set our phones up on the shore and got in with the beautiful gar just to get some really good photos because, you know, after the day, that's all you've got. Those are your memories. And so I'm glad we took the time to get some really nice footage and photos.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, it was an awesome trip. And like I said, right now, where we were actually on the banks shooting fish, it's like all flooded in that spot from looking at Buck's pictures, and he's like I said, he's teasing us right now. He shot a giant gator gar yesterday, and he's there with his son, and they're shooting some monster buffs and stuff. He's having a blast, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of funny. Just 3 weeks ago, it was still considered the drought. Everything was dried up. There were pockets on that river where you could walk around the edges, and now it is absolutely overflowing.
It's crazy.
At the same time, the bow fishing's amazing right now, and I wish I was down there.
Right. From the looks of it, it almost looks like, it's come up like 10 feet almost. From the looks of
it's crazy. That must be one of the river systems that everything else dumps into.
Yep. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So much fun.
Yep. Well, Jana, we would really like to thank you very much for coming on here and joining us. I know you're busy. You've got a lot of stuff going on, so we're gonna let you get back to doing what you do best out there. And we just want to thank you again for coming along and for enjoying the sport of bow fishing with us. It's always a blast to be able to have you in the boat. I love being around you. I love listening to your stories and how you go forward with your outdoors. It's always top notch for you. It's always appreciating the outdoors and stuff. And that's why it's always a blast having you along in the boat, Jana. We really appreciate that.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it as well. I feel like it. Just the act of bow fishing is a total gift to my life. Sure. And I love it so much. I'm never going to stop. And I feel like the more we can introduce people to it, the better for their souls. Correct. As well as the environment. A lot of these invasive species,
Absolutely.
Bow fishing is actually quite a help to the environment. So thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for all the amazing bow fishing adventures, and can't wait till our next time. All right. Yep.
Next time. I can't wait for the next adventure, Jana. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
What just a blessing to the outdoor industry. Every time we talk to her, every time I see her at a show or something, it's just very proud that we're associated with Jana.
Right. She's top notch.
Grade A person. Top notch. Great show and great, values, just a great person all around.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
Matt, it is May 5th today.
Woo. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, every time I look at that little date down there, I swear it jumps like 3 days. In 10 days, we got a little event going on at the Marshfield Fairgrounds here.
Absolutely.
You gonna tell us some specifics about this year's Big 20?
We've got the Big 20 coming up this May 15th here. We're 10 days away. Right now, the Big Fish pot is sitting at $1,200. First place is guaranteed $10,000.
Ooh, whoa! That shatters all of the prior tournaments' first place winnings.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep.
Good
So
deal.
some team's gonna walk away with a nice chunk of change.
Yeah.
Big Fish prizes. I've got a little list here. You care to go through those and read those Big Fish prizes, Schmitty?
So, Big Fish. Heaviest Gar wins a PSE Mud Dog bow donated by the Wisconsin Bowfishing Association. Mm-hmm. Heaviest Common Carp wins an AMS Hooligan bow donated by AMS. Heaviest Buffalo wins a Megamouth reel donated by Megamouth. Heaviest Drum wins $300 cash from John's Custom Bowfishing Boats. Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, that's really cool.
Wow, yeah, thanks, John. That's cool. Heaviest Dogfish wins a pair of 100-watt LED driving cubes donated by Arrow LED. I know he always donates stuff for that tournament. That's very nice of him to do that as well.
Those are the lights that we have on the AMS boat, 100 watters, and they've been on there for 4 years without one single issue.
Yeah, never something that we have to worry about,
right?
Having lights, which can be something that can go wrong.
Absolutely.
A lot, stuff like that.
He's got some awesome interior lights. Get a hold of Mr. Johnson there and on his Facebook page and check out his lights and put them in. They're awesome.
Absolutely.
They're awesome lights.
To go along with all those prizes, not necessarily for a Big Fish, but there will also be a random drawing for a Matthews Vertex bow donated by Matthews. So very cool on that front as well.
Absolutely. And we've got a lot of other prizes. Mary Roberts is sending up some of her purses that she makes.
Oh, cool.
For some of the female contestants that are in it. Outdoor Edge. So there's a bunch of little kind of knives and flame knives and skinning knives and stuff like that. Tim Wells sent us up a couple of his
Slockmaster.
The old Slockmaster sent us up some of his Fish Hawk blowguns for bow fishing.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's cool. Oh yeah, you were saying that you were talking to him about it. He sent them like the next day.
Oh yeah,
he was just right on it. That's
So
cool.
thanks to Tim Wells for setting up a couple of those. Talked to T-Bone here a couple days ago.
T-Bone.
He's going to send up some autographed little prizes as well.
Uh-oh, those might never make it out to the prize table.
You can't go near them.
All right, okay.
Yep. And then, cannot forget about our good buddy, Corey Brossman. Yeah. He's going to be coming up. He's going to be DJing again like he did a couple years ago. And he brings up a bunch of prizes, Umarax air guns. He's probably going to bring some crossbows up here. Corey is just a tremendous help when it comes to this tournament, and I can't thank him enough. One of the coolest prizes that is donated for the Big 20 is Corey always donates a Stingray trip for up to 4 people for 2 days out there in Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
And this prize is won to the Average Joe team, which is awesome. And for those that don't really know what the Average Joe is, the Average Joe, say it averages out the total weights.
Of all the teams that come back to weigh in,
Correct.
The average weight,
right?
Whoever is closest to it wins that Average Joe award.
Right. So it's usually the cool part about it is somebody that's not going to be up and probably in the money payouts, but they're going to win an awesome trip.
Absolutely.
And that's what's really cool about that trip right there is the Average Joe from Corey Brossman. So he'll be up here again DJing and doing his Stingray stuff, and I'm sure he's going to be talking to people out there as well. So
and we got lots of prizes, so make sure to come back for weigh-in. Because even if you don't place, we got all kinds of, you could go shoot some Stingrays out there. That would be fantastic.
Yep. So that's cool. But we also have, next month, the BAA Worlds out in South Dakota, which is going to be a huge event as well. And so that's coming up. So if you're thinking about tournaments and getting into tournaments or joining a club, you need to do that. You need to do that because they're the voices out there to fight for our rights. They're the ones that go to work for us. So join your state bowfishing association. Join the Bowfishing Association of America. The more people that we have in a group is more power when we go to fight for our rights.
Yep.
And so join those organizations. Go to a tournament. If you're feeling like you aren't going to be that good in a tournament or intimidated, that's where it starts.
Right.
That's where it starts. You know, I started out going to a tournament in an 18-foot little polar. What the heck was the name of that boat again? I can't remember. Like a little War Eagle or something like that. There.
Yeah.
I was intimidated.
Yeah.
But it was awesome to look into some of these guys' boats and see what they have and to see how they set things up and to see what they come back to weigh-ins and think, what am I missing here? How come I can't come in with those kind of weights? Mm-hmm. But you start learning.
Yep.
You start learning over time. Yep. And so get involved. Go to some of these tournaments. One thing that I don't want to see you do is back to your dumping your fish.
Oh God!
In the boat landings and the ditches, because you aren't one of us.
No.
And we don't need you in the sport.
No. No room for that. None at all.
Nope.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt.
Yes.
People are going to be shooting lots of fish here in the next 2 weeks.
Tonight? I want to be on tonight.
You said you were going last night.
No.
Oh, guess who was here at work this morning?
Serena,
that's right.
Serena and Jason. I'll be picking them up in a couple hours at the airport.
You
We're
are
heading right to the water.
Oh, gosh. The pictures tomorrow are just going to kill me.
Yeah, so for those of you that are going to be wondering what's going to happen here with Serena and Jason, depending on when this podcast airs, it should be podcasting tomorrow or tonight sometime. Keep checking the AMS Facebook page because I'll be popping some pictures up with them. And my goal is to get Serena and Jason their biggest fish.
And you said Serena's PB is 20 pounds, correct? Her biggest fish, 20 pounds. Yep. Do you know what Jason's is at all?
I thought he said it was right around 40 or something like that.
Oh, that's going to be a challenge.
That'll be a challenge, but that's my goal. And just to kind of show them upper Midwest bow fishing, what it's about, what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So going with that, lots of people out shooting fish. I know there's tournaments going on, a nice night, a Saturday night out on the lake this time of year. There's a lot of boats out there, people going through a lot of gear, putting their equipment to the test. So our product highlight today is going to be our replacement Cyclone tips. Mm-hmm. The AMS Cyclone tip has outperformed the competition with stainless steel construction, spiraled flutes, and custom heat-treated process. The Cyclone is one tough tip. Fits all standard quarter 28 threaded points, sold 2 per pack. I know these tips I run them on the machines. They are thoroughly inspected. The tolerances are tight. We send them off to get heat treated, and they can take a beating. That being said, if you use them for an entire season, you're shooting into rocks, whatever the situation may be, it's always smart to have a replacement pack on. All you gotta do is thread that old one off, put a new one on, and you're ready to rock and roll. So check out the replacement cyclone tips from AMS.
Right. One little note here is I've shot 2 state tournaments so far.
Yep.
And I've gone out and fun shot about 3 times.
Okay.
Same arrow, same tip.
That's pretty
The
cool.
old cyclone tip, man.
Yep.
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
And what are you using for your point on there, Matt? What's your
My Anchor QT.
Anchor QT.
Anchor
Okay.
QT.
The quick turn.
Mm-hmm.
Lickety
Love
split.
it. I don't have to touch the fish. I just grab my arrow, bring it in the boat, twist it, pull it out, rinse it off, lock it back into place.
And you're ready to rock and roll.
Yep. It's awesome. I'm back up on the deck in seconds.
Sure.
Boom. Back up there. Love the QT. It's awesome. So I guess with that, we'll be wrapping up Bowfishing Buzz Podcast.
I don't even know what episode this is. Season 3, episode something.
Season 3, episode 2.
Is it 2? Okay, it's
This
2.
is season
It's
2.
2. Gotcha.
Yep, episode 2. Yep. But thanks for listening, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Thanks again to Jana Waller for joining us. Appreciate that. And I did talk to T-Bone yesterday, and he definitely wants to come on the Bowfishing Buzz Podcast, Schmitty.
Okay. I'm going to need to know that so I can mentally prepare. But that would be awesome.
I know T-Bone loves bowfishing.
Yeah.
Yep. So. And then also, remember, keep checking the AMS Facebook page the next couple of weeks. Or next week, we'll be doing a bunch of live stuff from the AMS Big 20. Weather should be making a nice little rise here.
I
So
checked that this morning. Looks nice.
it's going to be on.
Yeah.
It's going to be on. You have till May 12th to pre-register. Okay? You can also register the day of the event.
Yep.
But it's an extra $25. Yep.
So pre-register.
So pre-register. That way we know to get you in line.
Yep.
Get you through inspection. Know to the parking spot.
Absolutely.
So from all of us from AMS Bowfishing, remember, aim low.
Think big. Thanks for listening, everybody.